Hey everybody, it's Galmadex and welcome back to another premiere draft of Final Fantasy Best Set of the Year. Without further ado, let's get into the pack one, pick one. We have really great options all around. I think the best are these two really powerful monocolored spells. Overkill, really efficient, splashable removal that blows up whatever you need it to at instant speed, and Summon Titan. That's just a huge green bomb rare. Plays well with a lot of the archetypes in the set, there's some good graveyard synergies you can get in various decks, and even just off its own ability, it obviously helps itself. So get a huge trample swing in, and then get another huge trample swing in when it sacks itself. So I'm going to go for the Titan here. Start with a green deck today, as we did just do some good overkilling yesterday. We'll head a different direction here, but I think either path would be very fair to take. All right, we hit a pretty significant dip in power level for pick two very bad rares in this pack. We have Zac Fair, Dreams of Laguna being reasonable monocolored spells in other colors. Those are solid early picks. Not excited to take them pick two though. And then there's Renoa, which is restrictive because it's a multicolored card, but we already want to play green pretty badly with Summon Titan. I think I'm going to go for Renoa here. T-Rexar is fine as well. But as a common, there tends to be enough copies going around. You can only easily get the one or two that you want. It is a 6-drop. You don't want a million of them, even though it does force cycle. So we'll grab Renoa there a little speculatively. Pick number 3, Resentful Revelation is great card draw. Magitech Infantry is great in aggressive white decks if you get at least 2 copies. Whiteheart has some pretty fun synergies in white decks as well. And there's that T-Rexar again. Realm sketching is pretty fun, really good in the mana value 4 or greater blue decks. I think I want to just take a green or white card here. The power level is quite comparable between all the best cards, so I'm going to go for white aggro stuff. I actually think Whiteheart would be better in green-white in particular. So I'm going to go for that here. Pick 4, what is this? Godo Bandit Warlord. That doesn't do anything in draft. 6 mana, 3/3. Search for an equipment put on the battlefield, then shuffle. When it attacks for the first time each turn, untap it and I'll samurai and get another combat phase. Yeah, that doesn't do anything much in draft. I mean, I guess it's okay in the red-white equipment deck, but not great. This whole pack as a whole is kind of slow. Retrieve the Esper is fine for mana value 4 or greater blue decks. Shinra Reinforcements is fine for black self-mill decks. That could be blue-black or green-black, so maybe enforcements towards green-black. That works well with Summon Titan. We could just take Chocobo Kick. It's not a lot of removal in greens. This is about what you can get. Or we could take Slash of Light, which is good removal in red-white, where you have a lot of the equipment that come with creatures, but certainly weaker in other white decks, like green-white. Pick 5, Judge Magister Gerbranth. We literally just did black-white yesterday, and green still looks like a fine path to be on. Off of Chocobo Kicks, Summon Titan, Renoa, and now Gubu Gardener. We can stick to that. Pick number 6. Side quest card collection, actually pretty good. It digs you pretty far towards your good cards. Draw 3, discard 2. And then you get a Crew 1 4/4 flyer. Crew 1, really easy to do. Actually, the green splashy decks don't mind a Gladiolus either. Higher up on the curve, playing a bunch of towns to splash it in easily. That could be fun too. Yeah, card collection Gladiolus I think are the best options, although Gardener would be reasonable, or Reinforcements if you really like the green-black deck. Pick 7, take a town. So town, or like Ultimisia is my favorite card here. Be pretty hard to get to from where we're at right now. Yeah, I'm going to go speculative on a town. Pick 8, here's another town, another Ambrosia. There were some multiples, though, because of the legend rule. And everything else in the pack is pretty bad, except Retrieve, which I do like in Sahagin type blue decks that care about mana value 4 and greater. I'll go for another Ambrosia here. If we have double Ambrosia, we can really build around the synergy of that. Here's a green-white duel. Rod's not terrible. Blitzball could be a thing. We end up splashy. But so could the green-white duel. Slasher dual land. Take a duel. Take a duel. It's a late resentful revelation, though. Wow. I do want to splash in Gladiolus easy here, though. I'm going to commit. I'm going to do different stuff today. I'm going to go deep on green. Splash into everything else easily with a ton of towns. Ooh. Vivi and Joshua. So Vivi is the stronger card in his respective archetype, but not the greatest off of the splash. Joshua's just a consistently strong card, whatever your deck is doing. So I think better for us here, and it's also easier for us, right? We're on Naya right now, red, green, and white with dual lands in all those directions. We take the Joshua here, I think. Well, there's Ignis for the towns strategy. Ramp into lands at the top 6. Green-blue ramp with an emphasis on towns is the green-blue archetype, so we could play green-blue at the core, just splash in everything else here. Ambrosia becomes obviously worse there, but I think Ignis is the best card here with everything we've taken so far. It has the highest potential upside if we play deep enough in blue to get it going. And here's a green-blue dual land for that. Don't mind it. Adelbert's fine as well. Chocobo Kick's fine. I mean, towns were going quite late early. It feels like splashy 3-4 colors super open here. We might be able to take the kick and wheel the town. I feel like kicks are probably quite important for us, with green just by far being the core color, and Chocobo Kick kind of being the only green removal, really. So as decent as Gubu Gardener is, it's much worse the more splashy we are, and we are very splashy right now. I think I'm going to go Dreams of Laguna. Just take the best blue spell and start going deeper into that color. So we can have early Ignises being reasonable, but we could also take a second Gladiolus. That's not crazy. Jumbo Cactuar would be a crazy pick, though. Very, very slow. 7 mana. Only gets big on the attacks, and when it does, it can just get chump blocked and stopped. It's not the best ever. White Auracite for excellent removal is by far the best card in this pack, and there's nothing great for splashy rampy deck except like T-Rexar being fine. So double white is difficult, but still be worth it. There's Combat Tutorial. Just play a bunch of blue draw spells to draw into the big sketchy stuff, the big scary stuff for the late game. Sure, I don't hate that, but now that I have a double white spell, it again leads towards green-white, making blue more of a splash. There's not a good card for that deck here, though. It would be greens or Gourmet. We could do the Wandering Minstrel thing. We could certainly do the Wandering Minstrel thing. Five or more towns? Alright, I don't know if I've ever actually done the full Wandering Minstrel thing. I have played a few, like, 4-color decks and stuff, but I don't think I've ever drafted the Minstrel itself. Might be forgetting something. It's possible, I guess. This pack's pretty bad for us. Definitely not a triple red spell in a deck this splashy. Castle Guard being deepest on white and green. Here's a green 4-dropper, a town. And now that we got the Minstrel, I'm going all in. Scoop up all the towns on the wheel. We didn't wheel the green-blue. It's actually pretty bad for us, but world map works out fine. Another Gubu Gardener. Scout. Just filler stuff. Okay, final pack. Yeah, give me another bomber. I don't care what color it is, it's going in here. Come on, Dion. Just so happens to be the best color for it to be in. Well, green would be the number 1 best, but white is the second best, second easiest color for us to hit. Four blue cards and 2 red cards right now. I mean, we might just end up being Naya with extra towns for Minstrel. Still. I have no other Magitech infantries. I don't really think I want to take a first infantry here, but there's not a whole lot else going on in this pack. It's a Graha, I guess. It's the most on-color card. I think this is overall just not a good pack for this deck. Just take the infantry. Second White Ore site is great. We'll take that. Looking through everything else, that's a pretty easy pick. Crossroads Village is kind of the perfect town, although this deck would like Wall of Omens. Wall of Omens is really, really good with our double Ambrosia, and we're like a slower deck, trying to draw into specific great rares in the late game. It's kind of perfect. Slow the game down, draw a card, dig farther in the deck, and it's great to pick it back up. This is a pretty hard choice, because we're both the perfect Wall of Omens deck and the perfect Crossroads Village deck. I'm going to go Wall of Omens. There's 2 towns here. I guess there's 3, but I'm not taking Adventurers in. So somebody takes one of those, and then we grab whatever's left, hopefully. Garnet. Or a town, or a Magitech Infantry number 2. Am I just turning into green-white? After all of this fun and games, we just become green-white? I don't actually have the synergies for Garnet in the first place. But I guess we could have been just a pure green-white deck and been in a fine spot. Just take another Magitech so that the first one is playable. Now we take a green-white duel. Fate of the Suncrist is fine here too. I really want them towns. This pack's pretty bad. Really not a weapons vendor deck. It's a Graha here then. No way I'm playing that double blue flyer. White Mage's Staff is fine. Blitzball's fine. Staff. There must have been another Wandering Minstrel in like pack 1 that I just forgot about, because the towns just absolutely vanished in the second half of pack 2 and 3. Yeah, Gourmet's probably better than the equipment in this deck. Yeah, I mean, they're just completely gone. Yep, only the colorless one here. God. Thought it was gonna finally be in the like no competition towns deck, and then there was competition. People took our towns. Yeah, I mean, we would have had to take them really highly then. That's rough. Over excellent cards like a Wall of Omens. Okay. If I play these colorless ones that are pretty bad, the Gold Saucer, then I could be more likely to actually make 2/2s off of the Minstrel, which is fun. But I feel like I should not be playing colorless lands in a 4-color deck. Technically, sure, this could start getting some treasures for mana of any color later, but that's a 50-50. I put 2 mana into this, and there's a 50-50 chance that I don't get any mana back. That just seems awful. But that would leave me with only 6 towns, which would mean basically never getting the 2/2s. If I'm never getting the 2/2s, then I'm completely trying to just get the 8 mana ability for like +2/+2 or +3/+3 to the board. They're still solid, but slow enough they can deal with them before we get there. I think I'd rather just go Naya than do the blue stuff at that point, when I'd have to play the gold saucers. Yep. The Wandering Minstrel thing was not to be. I don't love the Scout. I had less tokens than I thought I did. I have 1 White Mage's Staff and 1 Greens. So Gourmet is actually kind of bad in here. I should have just grabbed the equipment instead of that, but that makes that an easy cut. I think our mana base will be good enough that we don't need to run a town map. If I'm just doing 3 colors. Yeah, this looks solid. 5, 6, 7, 8 green sources, 6, 7, 8, 9 white sources. We're on an 8-9 split of our 2 main colors, which is what most decks are if they don't have any dual lands. So we're doing just as well as a 2-color deck of all basics on our main colors. And we have 4 colors of the splash, thanks to the amount of dual lands we took. Looks good to me. Some Naya beatdown. Just got a bunch of good green-white cards at the core in the end. After trying to do fun town stuff. We could have had a stronger deck committing harder to just pure green-white early. But still going for like the little red splash. But I tried to do Wandering Minstrel stuff and it really did not pan out for us. So pretty average, pretty mediocre deck here. Having to splash into a 3rd color is not the best ever. But we have consistent mana for it because of how deep we went towards the Minstrel. So should be a reasonable deck here, should get a reasonable record today. We'll see how far it takes us as we hop into the gameplay. Right, here we are on the play for game number 1. Just doing average green-white filler beatdown stuff here. Curve into a Gigantode and poke them with it. Do need to top deck a land here to play the turn 3 Gigantode. Do not kill my gardener. How dare you. We hit the land. We could have played the toad here, but they killed me boy. Me gardener. Play the greens here without anything good for the white heart. It is essentially the exact same thing as the Chocobo token anyway. Oh no, that gardener was so important. I'm not going to play Chocobo Kick against open man. If they Vein Stretchy my creature in response to Chocobo Kick, that's super bad for me. Although Ambrosia picking up the land and recasting it does let me double spell for the turn. Alright, let's see. Let's get blown out. It'll be fun. We didn't get blown out. I thought from attacking through that it seemed like Arena was auto-passing pretty quick. Pretty cheaty face thing you can do on Arena, but each player has the same advantage if we're both not playing in full control mode, and I never play in full control mode, so I will use the information Arena gives me. Oh man. Could be a tragic game. We just don't get to cast our spells. It's all Tonberry's fault, stabbing my Goo Gardener. I guess kicking it. The Tonberry got up and Chocobo kicked my Gardener in the face rather than stabbing it. That's wild. Oh! We're getting bomb reared with a handful of 4-drops. Tragedy has commenced. 28 cards left, 14 lands still in there. Oh, Jesus. Now every non-token creature we control that dies goes into the Dark Crystal, and they just get to play it against us with 2+1/+1 counters. Yeah, I mean, we got stuck on mana way too long. Even if we hit the right colors now, they just start stealing all of our creatures and plopping them against us. Yeah. I actually really didn't want to draw land now. Because then I think I could concede. Still feels a tiny bit preemptive. These could just be like 2 lands. In which case it'd still be an uphill battle against Darkness Crystal, but we would stand a chance. I don't think I can play Dion, because if they Darkness Crystal our Dion against us, absolute ripperoo. I mean, realistically speaking, if they Darkness Crystal anything, it's over. So maybe the play still is Dion, but without the 6 mana to flip the Dion anyway, just the 5 power and toughness isn't going to be enough to outrace our opponent currently. Ooh, the Balam Garden as well for the giant draw card vehicle. Big flyer draws a card every attack. Feels like Dion now. Chump with a Dion token. I don't even need to chump yet. I can take the damage for another turn. Dion being enough flying power if they somehow haven't found removal to kill them is probably worth it though over the Toad. Because then if I have no idea how this would be the hand, but it's like our only chance. If it's land, they go swing or they go pass, and then we just go staff onto this token and hit for 6 in the sky, and that's game. We have to play to our outs. Like, I want to make it very clear, every play that we're making here is a very low chance of winning, but we might as well take those odds over not trying. Or over just fully trying to turtle up here and imagining that we can beat a Darkness Crystal in a long game of Magic. Like, that's not going to happen. We have to find a cheese victory. Unfortunately, it looks like our opponent might have found the cheese victory instead. They did indeed. With the Blitzball shot there. That might have been a massively bold line from our opponent. I mean, we don't know what else was in their hand there. They went for double combat trick. I guess that is like their only hope. If I block with the token, they don't get it with the Darkness Crystal, and then we would survive Crackback for lethal. If we block with Dion, they get the life gain. They don't die. Does this gain life off creature tokens? Doesn't gain life off creature tokens. Yeah, I suppose chumping with the Knight would have got us there. I don't think we can play around double combat trick, though. Especially from a deck like this. Like a splashy 4-color deck, green, black, white, blue, with like removal and a Darkness Crystal, looks like a control-y pile of cards. I think we have to be much more concerned about like removal spells whittling down our board than random combat tricks here. It just feels far less likely. But that's what they had, so we will die there. Yeah, there's the world where we chump. Like, they have to make this play, make sure they don't die to the flying on the crackback. And then we could go, like, chump, and they just, like, play a blocker for Toad. And then because they have a blocker for Toad, well, I guess I could kill the blocker with Chocobo Kick. Hmm. Yeah, no, I guess if I think tanked about it for like 2 minutes after they attacked, I probably would have blocked with the Knight token. But again, it's really hard to foresee a combat trick from a 4-color deck that's far more likely to be more controlling, where you don't really want to run any combat tricks. Yeah, that's awkward all around. But I guess we could have won with a Knight token block. We don't know what their other 2 cards were. They could have had, 2 blockers there still. That was weird stuff. All right, game 2 on the play. Match tech infantry from opponent. Castle guard is the good trade for that. Dragoon's Lance, that card is absurdly good. I think I mentioned this at least once per draft while drafting, talking about how much I want to find a copy, and then I never do. I have not found one Dragoon's Lance on this return trip, but I've played against several. I think I can go for the aggressive with Renoa coming up. And the Aura Sight. Opponent is 3-color, white, black, and red. White heart in the end step. Jam 5. It's tempting to shoot the lance, but this looks like a kind of quick back and forth kind of game when we have a Renoa coming up, where it's better to lower their number of creatures. Also plays better if they have the suplex to blow up the Aura Sight. And plays better if I draw another Ambrosia, because I could pick up the Aura Sight and exile another card with it, which is fantastic. I do not want to play Chocobo Kick here because I want Ambrosia to trade off into this token. So if they think the trade's profitable, that'll be really good for me. They do not. They're just going to take all the damage. Well, we sure are hitting here. Here's Renoa. This is absolutely a race of a game. They're at 8, we're at 12. Raha is the play. Definitely Chocobo Kick that. Because I don't need to kick it, but just because Chocobo abilities, I don't mind doing so. Oh wait, no, I do need to kick it. I don't have a 5 until post-combat. I don't want to attack into it. Go, Renoa, go. Get in there, Angelo. Yes, kill Ambrosia. Kill the legend. I was a little worried they were going to swap blockers over and end up killing Renoa there because I said kill the legend. Be like, no, no, not that legend. No. Zidane. Life gain. I'm good on that. GG from opponent. They're over it. The Ambrosia to pick up Renoa so they don't gain any life on this attack, and also, probably more importantly, don't kill us. It's pretty big. I don't think they would have had lethal though off of the Renoa steal. They would have stolen her. They could attack for 4, and that would get +3/+3. So that'd be 5, so 9 damage total. They gain 5. They're at 7, and we're at 3. And then we get Renoa back. And then we wouldn't have a lethal crackback. Yeah, I mean, it would have been pretty bad for us, so Ambrosia to stop that gives us the win there. We are 1-1, head into game 3. We are now for game 3. Opponent takes a mulligan. Start off with Dwarven Castle Guard against a blue deck. Blue-black, really good controlling deck. They start with Dark Confidant. Well, you got me. First draws a 2-mana place. They only take 2 damage for drawing into that, and Dark Confidant is immediately a 2-for-1. There are 2 different flash creatures at 2 mana and white in this set. Ambrosia Whiteheart, 2 mana, 2/2 flash, and the battle instant that makes a 2/2 or destroys something with power 4 or greater. So I think they are in a reasonable position to play around the Ambrosia, so I'm not sure we're going to get the Dark Confidant kill here. We do get the Dark Confidant kill here. Thank goodness. But part of what's so strong about the Dark Confidant is even killing it as quickly as we did, it already 2-for-1'd us. I already drew that Dire Rat as well. Here's Joshua, which is fantastic here. Discard 2, draw 2. Even if he dies immediately, that was good value right there. If they just pass here, we are not activating Joshua, because if they have the instant speed removal spell, the Sephiroth's Intervention, we spend 5, try to activate, and they respond, and that's pretty terrible for me. So they go ahead and main phase is stuck in Summoner's Sanctum, so we don't have to worry about intervention-style nonsense. Just play a Renoa and pass. We draw our second Whiteheart, and that'll be really good in this matchup to pick up the Joshua and save him from the Summoner's Sanctum. No more trials for you. Baptize is not that bad for us, because Gubu Gardener's very good in this hand. Combat Tutorial. Find Summon Titan, not bad at all. Double block kill Renoa. It's probably the play. If they do so, I get 5 damage in with this dog. Sorry, I should specify with Angelo. Angelo is a legend in more ways than one. I think sacking the Renoa here is worth the damage output. We're putting them to 7 life against a 7 power trampler, and they have no blockers on board now. Oh, we milled Ambrosia copy too. That's sad. So we're not going to draw into that to go with Joshua. But we also have 4 lands engraved. That part is pretty cool. Some we discarded off Joshua, and some we milled off Titan. So if Titan doesn't die immediately, we get 4 more lands on the board, and we're good for anything we draw. Titan does not die immediately, but also we don't draw land for Gladiolus, so we just go Graha pre-combat. So if they wait to blow anybody up until we declare attacks, we draw cards, such as if they have like flash creatures or something. Okay. Just had a Vane's Treachery, and it wasn't enough unless they sacked the treasure. And they just really didn't want to do that, so that will be 2-1 heading into game 4. All right, on the play for game 4. Perfectly fine hand here. That helps a lot. Turn 3 Toad. Suplex? Sure. A-okay with me. We draw Ambrosia. I'm not going to activate infantry for quite some time, because I want to be mana efficient playing Toad for 4 next turn, and then Titan for 5 the turn after that. Don't blow up my 3-2 with no abilities, basically. Sure. A little sad they had the card that Ambrosia would have been so good against. That would have been the best argument for playing infantry first, even if I don't activate it for forever. Saving the Ambrosia to deal with the Stuck in Summer Sanctum could be spicy. Now they're not putting Titan in a Summoner's Sanctum, and their red removal should not be able to kill this 7/7. Mill lands, mill lands, mill lands. Well, 2 lands. Not the worst. Pretty average for a mill 5. All the Stuck in Summoner Sanctum. Still fine, still makes the Toad super juicy. Infantry plus activate here. It's the maximum pressure. One part I don't love about this is there's a very good uncommon that's good in blue-red control decks called Fire Magic. That'll blow up all the 1 toughness cards for just 1 mana. Shiva to slow us down. Get a big hit here off the Titan thing. 9 trampling power. Foresight without the mana to equip. Or play an equipped staff. I think just Aura Sight looks good here. I can Aura Sight and then cast both these. No equip. Yeah, another tap, it's done next turn. We're already forcing a chump. Send both. They can block that and keep that on board and go to 1. This way I just go to 1 or go to 6. I keep my board. Yeah, if they're considering going to 1 without killing a creature, I think if I attack both, they definitely would just eat the other infantry. Okay, they are in the end going to go ahead and soak up a few points of damage. Find a second worst. That's a good one. Prompto. And the final card in hand. Combat tutorial. Dig for an out. They're dead on board. Blazing bomb, is that enough? Not on board. They are already dead. And there's the concession from our opponent. That is now 3-1. Just a great time at Final Fantasy. This was a draft that really did not pan out particularly well. And we have still just immediately hopped our way into at least a 50-50 record here. We take those. That is going to be 3-1 heading into round number 5. That's very good at long game. Ambrosia with Wall of Omens and White Orsight. Blue-black. Controlling deck, slower deck usually. Could be a long game. Oh my god, we have a Dion. Against blue-black, I think we really want Dion to be the absolute last thing we do. Gonna treachery my wall immediately and stop Ambrosia? No, thank goodness. Okay. I don't hate this Goo Boo Gardener. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff to do with our mana. Turn down the green screen a little bit. Alright, hopefully that's a little better. If I was doing a little bit of weird particle stuff around there. Okay. Miss a land. Or we can play Orsight for mana here. Go to the 3/3 in the sky. Go Ambrosia plus Chocobo Kick. If I pick up a land. Don't think I want to do right now. Shinra Reinforcements, just a 2/3 chillin'. They pass from there, yet another missed land. I'm gonna start slamming toads down everywhere, I guess. Yep, there goes one Sephiroth's intervention. The ambrosia to save it from it and recast the toad. Same amount of value as if we just picked up the Wall of Omens and drew a card, except now we're just drawing a toad, which is super fine. Legend rule means I'm fine with the trade with the token here. And go ahead and Chocobo kick this Primal Odin while they're tapped out. 1 damage from Goo Gardener. Get in there, buddy. You can do this. Only 22 turns to go. Ooh. Oh, I haven't... Most of these games, I've had like 3 red sources in the endgame. I've got none for Gladiolus. I was really excited about that until I realized I don't have red yet. We're getting really close to just kind of having to run out Dion. I would really prefer not to. But this might be the turn. Okay, there goes another intervention. Now they can't have the counterspell up for Dion, and if they have the removal for Dion, I pick them up and recast them and make another knight. If they tap out, I'm happy to play Dion there. And they tapped out for that intervention on the Toad. Okay, do they have third intervention plus counterspell here? That'd be pretty gross. Nope. Your deck is very good, by the way, but so is ours. Come on out, Dion. Little sad chocobos can't fly. The poor chickens. Mulmer is annoying, but can't cast these anyway, and I've already got a lethal Dion. Not literally, but essentially. Wow. Alright. I'd be very annoyed if I wasn't about to win this game. Whee! Certainly not lethal here. Their counterattacks for 11, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 maximum. Yeah, we just do this 2 turns in a row and then they're dead. This is their last draw step. If they top decked a 5th removal spell, I guess 6th if you count the one they milled, then they do live. And this game takes a long time, and they're probably favored in a long game. I guess if it's Vane's Treachery... No, that still works, because they can sack the Rod. Yeah, well, alright. Block, block, block. Take 6? 5 or 6? We still have 2 turn lethal here. They eat one of these for free. Well, this is still 2 turn lethal. If they don't top deck twice in a row. Yeah, their deck is wild. They've already gone through 6 removal spells in terms of what they've drawn or milled. Just about halfway through. Probably like 12 or something on average to be drawn like this. But they do have to draw very, very well to not Not die in the 2-turn swing, and Black Mage's Rod is not going to do it. Alright. Gross stuff from Dion. Cast and Protect, incredible bomb rare. And it wins games. And still almost didn't with the amount of removal that they had. We played Dion, saved it from one removal, replayed it. They drew another removal after that. Then another one after that. Wait, no, that's not true. One to try to kill it. I stopped it, replayed it, flipped it, then the second one. Yeah, the second one hit it. But that was a lot of removal there. That was a really good deck from our opponent. We just hit the strongest card in the whole deck and played it twice. And that is 4-1. Guaranteed a positive record out of this deck, no matter what, which I think is pretty great considering how the draft went. This is not the deck we were intending at all during the draft itself. See if I can pull removal from them first on this Chocobo before playing Joshua. The other option, obviously, tap land now to be able to curve into Joshua, but I could also just top deck the mountain, and then I guess I'll do the curve. I need to make sure I've got land for Toad next turn, I think. I don't want to discard these and draw 2 4-drops or greater. That'd be very bad. Cornered by Black Mages. Alright. That is the right removal spell for them to have for us. Thank you very much, this all greens. No idea how to pronounce this, by the way. Oh, it's a Final Fantasy XI thing? So there's going to be an official pronunciation. They probably say it out loud in that game, because it's after 10. I'm going to play another Toad. Yep. Sephiroth. Five out of 7 mana for greens, so that makes white Auracite a little more appealing. Say I top deck a land and they play a good blocker, kill the blocker, play the land, now have 7 mana for the turn after, feels reasonable. City Elder's not the greatest card to Auracite though. Now I really just want to draw another creature. And I did, never didn't have it. In fact, I can actually be really cheeky here, which is fun. Since I want to cast this anyway, I might as well exile a token and pick it up. Schemes on a Corn by Black Mages. Cast it, and then we ruin our opponent's day by having lethal on the crackback by playing Whiteheart. Oh my god, dude. We pick up the Auracite, sack this new creature, replay the Auracite, kill the token, deal 8. Oh, they have 2. They have 2 tokens. Well, they're still dead to the double up that we can do. If we don't let Arena auto-tap us into not lethal. Woo! Always watch out for the Arena auto-taps. I don't know in what universe we want to tap the green there. Alright. That is 5-1 officially in the money with this deck. Very, very solid stuff. Did get to play a rare that game, got some good value off Joshua. No flip or anything, so just 3-4, discard a card, draw a card, but still, the beefy body for the cost helped a lot. So, still a little bit of bomb power in our favor, but I think mostly just great synergistic nonsense. Just curving. Alright, here we are. I don't have a blades! I clicked too fast! I was looking away, I was reading emails and stuff, waiting for this game to start. Oh, that's embarrassing. Well, here we are, 5-2, heading into round 8. After that keep. Jesus. Yeah, don't multitask while playing any important tournaments or anything. This is a bummer, obviously, but if my draft queue takes more than 5 seconds, I'm checking emails and stuff. I'm multitasking, so it is what it is. How on earth do we hit double red before one planes? That's kind of wild. That merchant is too thick. 5 toughness dump truck. Code is getting nowhere here. They're digging for land 4 as well. Got much better colors over there, I imagine, than having 2 of their splash color like we do. Oh, no. No, maybe they're probably full Grixis. Splashes or anything here. Nice, they tap out of Vayne's Treachery style cards, so we don't have to worry about that now. There's the white source. We are actually in this game. Our opponent's very favored for the amount of tempo we gave them by keeping a real bad hand, but we're in the game. I want to kick the Emperor, but we don't get attacks through Merchant. So I might have to kill Merchant here. Emperor's really scary, though. Gives them the extra mana and the fixing. Gets bigger and bigger and then starts shooting our face. Think the Emperor is bad enough in the long run to shoot that here over the Merchant. Can double block a Toad and we trade into Ultros to get that off the board, which stops it from repeatedly stunning our stuff, so that's perfectly fine. Or they just take the bounce because they don't want to lose Ultros. Fair enough. Oof. Great bomb. Deal 4, get a land every turn. Really is awesome. Titan's okay. Holds it off unless they throw removal at it. I mean, usually Titan's pretty awesome. Those were some real bad mills, though. Hit that second planes we really needed. So we will get that. That is the upside. The downside is we lost Dion in a second Aura Sight. Black Mage's Rod. I got the removal for the Titan. Alright. Well, this one was pretty embarrassing, but just accidentally kept a terrible hand. I thought we had a plains instinctually. I just saw a bunch of solid spells and some lands. I was like, alright, we're good. And that's multitasking for you. Moving on. Here we are for game 8. This time we actually have white man in the opener, so this is legitimately a very solid keep. And let's get going. Our opponent took one mulligan. Cecil is terrifying. Not the literal best one drop. I think Saz's Stroke was actually scarier turn 1, but just a ridiculous stat line for 1. Got the Aura Sight form eventually. So can clear him out after we both lose a bunch of life. They just want to hold him back defensively, like he's gonna just stop all of the damage we do forever. The awkward part. Well, no, this is awkward for not having played the forest first, but that means I get to play infantry's ability here and get that out of the way. Might be better. Mana efficient. Blitz Ball. So there's their second color, and we have no way to deal with that. I guess there's a universe where we'd want to Aura Sight it, but played my lands wrong to do that. My thinking was in case we hit like a Joshua, I'd really want to have a red source already. Some of our strongest draws are our random red splashes, but we were just much more likely to hit something that would have been sad that I didn't get the tap land out of the way, and that was indeed the case. Okay, I can cast Titan here, or I can, again, Aura Sight like the Blitz Ball. I think I'm happy to just run off the Titan. Oh my god, 4 lands? Be sick. Get the X-Death out of here. That mean no removal? Because that's a really good trade for me. I'm expecting them to probably be able to blow up the Titan with how deep they are on black, but maybe they can't and we just get a million lands here. And so they wanted to just kill that before it got the buffs. The thing is, it wouldn't have trample when it got the buffs, so they could just take the trade next turn anyway, even if the Titan pops off. It's the Esper Origins, Surveil 2, Gain 2, really good value play. And they get to recast it. Getting those cards. We have a bajillion mana. And clear out Cecil or clear out a Blitz Ball. Clear out Cecil, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I really don't want to end up clearing out Blitz Ball and having them just have surveilled the forest to the top anyway. But this game would have gone astronomically well if I just played the lands to be able to Aura Sight on 4, and we Aura Sighted the Blitz Ball. Which is a play I've done in the past. I just didn't play the lands out to be able to do it here. There's the Odin for the Titan. Thing's definitely not going to kill us, but it's real good value. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, not enough for greens. So I'll keep this, so if I draw something I don't immediately want to cast, I'll have it left over for the greens. Or sorry, I'll have this left over for the Marlboro or Heck Dies or something. Okay, here come all their rares. Summon Primal Odin and summon Esper Modwin. Gain a million life, draw a ton of cards here. Yep, we definitely need to draw another one of our own rares to match their double rare comeback here. Ubu Gardner is far from one of our rares. We're looking for Joshua or Dion. They have a decent double block with like Esper Mono and reinforcements here. Yeah, it's solid. They already drew the card off of it, so they could just get some mana and then get a one-turn buff. Just get that thing out of the way. The rest of their creatures sack themselves soon enough. Fat Chocobo. Diamond weapon. Yeah, you got me. Yeah, we just needed to play the tap lands earlier so that we could Aura Sight the Blitzball. That was our shot at victory here. Now we're just getting bombed out. Oh. It's like 13 damage. Just straight gas off the top and straight lands for us. Even the non-lands are just mana. Yeah. Very much punished for the early mana curve. There's not much else you can say about this. Just watching our opponent draw all of the best cards in the world while we stare at lands because we didn't punish them for their early mana. Alright, 5-3 it is. Very self-imposed final couple of games there. I mean, I was just kind of out of it. I had some other important email stuff going on that I was trying to keep track of, and just kept a losing hand last game. And then that final game, go for the wrong mana curve, don't have the Aura Sight up to blow up the Blitzball early, and that's the only reason our opponent could really cast spells at all from that point on. Yeah, really awkward. Human error pulls this deck down from what would have probably been 7-1 in the end. I think both of those last two games were very winnable if we played it out right or mulliganed into a good hand, depending on which game we're talking about, which is very surprising, honestly. I don't think this deck is all that insane. It's got some really strong rares going for it. It's about it for stuff I'm really excited about. Outside of that, I built it reasonably, as we always do. We gave it a good mana curve, we gave it plenty of removal and interaction, and that's all you need to have a chance of getting a pretty good run, even with a little bit more mid deck. So, yeah, weird deck, not the most synergistic thing in the universe. It's certainly running some pretty filler cards like Gigantoads. Gubu Gardeners weren't being that great. Graha's pretty filler in this deck. But it got a much better record than I expected at 5-3, and if it weren't for user error, it probably would have gotten a full trophy run, which is wild for the deck. So certainly, as is almost always the case, relatively happy with how I drafted and the deck I ended up with. It looks like it was capable of the 7-win run, but it's just user error during the gameplay itself that pulls it back. When will we get a Magic Arena draft auto battler? That's what I want. Love the drafting, love the deck building. Always have my eyes glaze over and misplay all over the place when we get to the gameplay itself, but it is what it is. Still a great run at 5-3 for a somewhat awkward draft, and an incredible record on the Return to Final Fantasy overall. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and you're interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube hour and send you some more in the recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. And other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.